All right, welcome back. It's been a while. We've got a crypto market update, and we're going to start this off by talking about Coinbase and their earnings. I'm not going to read all of these points here, but they did see some nice revenue growth. Let's pull up Coinbase chart. Um, they did see some nice earnings this past quarter. They had 1.2 billion in revenue, a slight miss, and a slight miss on a big miss on earnings per share. But this is a company that is new to being profitable. So they had they reported 2 cents for an expected, or 28 cents for an expected 44 cents. So there's really not a ton of profitability here for this company. I believe their previous quarter was their first positive quarter. Oh no, they've had a few positive quarters. But this is a company that's very, its earnings flow is very up and down, just depending on how the crypto market's doing. But when we look at this chart for Coinbase, kind of an ugly, not very constructive chart in the long term. But when we look more short term, let's zoom into the daily chart. It does look to me like we are going to test the 280 and potentially break out of the 280 range. But Coinbase is a commodity stock, so it's going to trade on a leverage basis to what Bitcoin and the other coins are doing. But let's go back to some of the earnings. I did just put out an election video, and I think this is going to be one of the most beneficial stocks to the new president, and potentially a new head of the SEC. So we still need those changes to be made in the SEC, but I think there is a big green light for the crypto industry to be able to do more projects, have more clarity on what is an asset, what is not an asset, what can we do, what can we not do, and get really the FTC and the SEC off of their back, because it's been a very harsh environment for these companies. There's been a lot of Wells notices. There's been a lot of legal battles when it comes to Coinbase, Robinhood, Uniswap. A lot of quality actors in this industry have been having to fight with the government, and that should hopefully change. The government should hopefully come in with new administration and say, hey, we're going to give you clear rules and guidelines to follow. If you mess up, we're coming after you. So that is going to be exciting, because what we're seeing right now is the current administration misses FTX, they miss the BlockFis, they miss the Voyagers, and they're constantly throttling down the Coinbase, the Kraken, the good actors. They want to go after the good actors, but they just so happen to miss the bad actors. So we'll see if they're going to be less reactive and more proactive when it comes to the crypto industry. But their revenue did reach 556 million when it comes to their subscription and services. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down here to Coinbase's chart when it comes to their revenue. There's a lot of ways that this company pulls in cash. They have stable coins, they have their interest incomes, they have their custodial fees for all of the Bitcoin ETFs. They are probably the largest custodian for those Bitcoin ETFs. So that's up 100% year over year. You've got their blockchain rewards is up 108% year over year. Their stable coin revenue is up 43% year over year. And their institutional revenue is up 292% year over year, and the regular consumer is up 96% year over year, with their total revenue being up 79% year over year. Now, I can almost guarantee, without going back and looking, that Q3 and 23 was a bad year for crypto. That's why these year over year numbers are so high compared to previous year. I'm sure 2023 quarter three was not a hot year for crypto. That's why their numbers are looking so good. But at the end of the day, a lot of ways that this company can pull in cash. I really like the founder and CEO, Brian Armstrong. I think he's one of the best CEOs that we have out there. And this is going to be a very interesting stock over the next few years. This was one of the, let's zoom in here. This was one of the graphics they had on their earnings call. So their layer one, their base chain is number one over the layer twos. Let me move my head here. Um, they were a big factor in this election that just wrapped up today, with a lot of people voting when it came to crypto. So crypto was a big topic for a lot of people, and they voted accordingly. Now their stablecoin volumes, $22 trillion, pretty wild. And they do have a big partnership with USDC. So their stablecoin is USDC, not Tether. And I think stablecoins is such a awesome technology for the world out there to get access to the dollar. Because if you're in China, if you're in Zimbabwe, if you're in somewhere where they don't have a decent currency that is not being inflated away 40% year over year. Turkey comes to mind, is a recent one. Argentina is a recent one. You can go into the App Store and download Coinbase or one of these crypto brokerage firms and swap your currency into stable coins and have access to the dollar versus having to go set up a U.S. bank account, which is not possible for those people in the other countries. So I do think stable coins will keep growing. And as we saw here, they're bringing in 250 million this past quarter on stablecoin revenue. So there's just a lot of ways this company can make money. And I prefer this to some of the other crypto equities out there, like a MicroStrategy, which is basically just a Bitcoin ETF that's levered. And then the miners, that's a tough business because you've got to constantly lower the cost of your electricity, replace machines. This company is more of a software play on the crypto industry, and their products that they put out there are very nice. Now, I will have to say it is expensive as a consumer. So for me, if I'm going to trade on Coinbase, which I honestly don't do a lot of trading on Coinbase, I actually use Kraken for a lot of trades, and then I move my coins in the cold storage. I don't do much on exchange. And then if I'm doing anything on a decentralized exchange, I will use Uniswap. But I do use the Coinbase wallet quite a bit to facilitate some transactions. But I go to the browser and use Uniswap for lower fees. But I do pay for the Coinbase Premium membership just because it's a little quicker and less friction to get money from bank accounts on and off, use their on and off ramps. So that is a little update on Coinbase. A lot of these brokerage platforms had really good numbers when it came to revenue, transaction numbers. So Robinhood did well, PayPal did well. So things are looking up in that sense. And when we look at the chart, we had huge moves in these equities today. Coinbase was up 31% this afternoon. You've got Robinhood up 20%, MicroStrategy up 13%, Square up 8%. I think Square has their earnings tomorrow. Wouldn't surprise me if this gets back over $80 here soon. PayPal doing really well. You've got Nubank, which is a global, mainly Latin America bank. Look at this chart, just really nice. And then you've got all the Bitcoin ETFs up 10%, tracking the price of Bitcoin. SoFi doing well. The miners going crazy. Riot's up 26%. Mara's up 20%. So you're seeing a lot of money flood into the crypto industry with the hopes of more lenient regulation, more clarity when it comes to regulation, and giving these companies the ability to possibly be more involved in the financial system and put out more products and services. So we will have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. But for me, I am putting my money behind Coinbase. That is one way that I increase my crypto exposure. Now, when we go ahead and look at the coins, I mean, I'm just flipping through 30%, 20%, 10%. Everything is making a big move. You got Uniswap up 30%. You've got some of these real world assets doing well. You got the meme coins going crazy. Dogecoin up 14%. Dogecoin hit 22 cents. That's kind of crazy. Some of the AI coins doing well. Tau is up 14%. You got Solana up 14%. Ethereum is up 10%. And Bitcoin up 9%. All-time high, everybody. Congratulations. This looks ready to roll. This is not financial advice. Read the disclaimer down below. Crypto super risky. I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but you already know my stance here. This is crypto is super risky stuff. This is play money, if anything. Any money you put into crypto, you should be prepared to lose. So watch my full disclaimer video down below. But we are looking very constructive here on the Bitcoin chart. We broke out of this trend line here in October. We retested it and we lifted off since then. So this is looking really good. All-time high today, almost 76,000. We did hit $76,000 today. So that's great to see. It looks like Ethereum's got a lot of catch up to do here. Holy cow. This is unbelievable for Ethereum. So this could be a decent catch-up play. Solana's really just taken all the shine away from Ethereum. This is quite interesting stuff to see here. So a lot of big moves here in the crypto cycle, in the crypto market. Don't go chasing anything right now. The time to be buying has been all this year. So when we go to our crypto update page, I haven't changed anything on here. Last time we spoke, we talked about a potential September slump and then a year-end pump. Looking like it. Election volatility, definitely have that. We already had the sideways summer. That is over and done with. That was your time to load up some good bags. Now that we're seeing Bitcoin move, there could be an opportunity to look at some of your favorite altcoins that are worth nothing. So again, the bear case for crypto is there's no use case right now. There's a lot of garbage coins. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of memes out there. Now, it doesn't mean you can't buy a meme and get a pump, but just expect if you're putting money into a lot of these altcoins, you got to be a good trader to be able to get in and get out, because a lot of them, that's just not my thing. So the bull case for the market, we know that inflation, the currency is being devalued. Look at the bonds today. People are not wanting to own any U.S. debt. They want to own assets. Bitcoin is one of those assets, apparently, that people want to be in for the next four years at least. We've got institutional adoption. We talked about the Coinbase earnings. Their institutional revenue has increased drastically. We've got the Bitcoin ETFs are getting a ton of traction. IBIT is getting billions of dollars in inflows. And this is the big one here. Regulators accepting the space. So we have seen a shift this year in the regulatory landscape when it comes to crypto. And now with this new administration coming in, I think this is only going to get better. So we'll have to wait and see. We've got the tokenization of assets coming, and we are in the 4-year cycle. Now, this is not just a Bitcoin cycle, it's a liquidity cycle, which global liquidity is rising. We are going to get a rate cut tomorrow from the Federal Reserve. So we're in a weird spot right now where interest rates are going up and the Fed's going to cut rates. So they're kind of working against each other. But the money printers are being turned on. I've talked about China and their stimulus. Japan is not raising rates like they said they were. And we are cutting rates. Europe is cutting rates. Canada's cutting rates. The world is making money more freely available, and people don't want their dollars because their currencies are being debased. So what do? Buy NASDAQ, buy Apple stock, buy Bitcoin, buy gold. Don't buy bonds. That's what's going on here. That's the bull case for Bitcoin. So the action items, limit your trading. Wait for Bitcoin to break out to get back into the alts. Not financial advice. We just had the breakout. So you're going to dollar cost average in the major coins. I am done dollar cost averaging. That time for me is over. I have packed my bags. Now I'm waiting for the liftoff. That's it. Long-term rules, understand what you own, why you own it, and don't get shaken out. Here's a great example. Last week, I bought some Coinbase shares before their earnings as a trade, like a dummy. knowing the risk that it could go up 20% or down 20%. What did Coinbase stock do after their earnings last week? It tanked 18%. That did not feel good. But I wanted to hold this for a swing trade for the next few weeks, years. I don't know how long this will be. But Coinbase tanked after their earnings. I bought it right here. Tanked. I held on to it. Now I'm in the money. So know what you own and don't get shaken out. It would have been very easy for me to sell down here while it was tanking. But I had conviction in my trade, and I wanted to hold and see it out. So I'm not saying that some of these altcoins to do that with, know what you own and don't get shaken out. So really build conviction in something and hold on to it. Same thing with Bitcoin. I could have sold all my Bitcoin at 18,000 after the FTX. I just left it on the cold storage and just let it sit there. Dollar cost average for the last few years. So I had conviction in what I was buying. Have a plan on taking profits. I have a plan. I have a plan when I'm going to take profits. We're not there yet. And you want to buy the big red candles, not the big green candles. Today is not a day to buy Bitcoin unless you're doing a passive dollar cost average. Not today. Wait for some red candles. There's going to be some uncertainty. We just had it last week. Bitcoin hit 73 and then dropped back down to 60 something. That's when you buy, when there's blood. No leverage. Don't use leverage unless you're a professional trader. And if you're going to hold anything for the long term, just get it off exchange, even Coinbase, because we've seen it too many times. FTX, FTX, Voyager, BitConnect, whatever. There's so many examples, and there's going to be another example for this cycle. We just don't know what it's going to be. There's an exchange that's going to go bust. Don't be on that exchange. Don't hold your coins on there. So again, not financial advice. This is the way I'm playing this crypto cycle, liquidity cycle. My long-term holds are, I'm holding Bitcoin forever. I will never sell my Bitcoin. I don't have enough for it to make a huge move to my bottom line unless it were to really make a big move. So I'm just holding it in a cold wallet forever. I'm going to be holding Coinbase and Solana for this cycle until things get real nutty, and those are going to be my trades for this cycle. I have one other position that I've been building over the last 6 months, and that's a position in Super, which is a crypto gaming coin. I do think gaming is going to get some nice attention, and I'm starting to scout around what other plays I would like to play out there, and the sectors that I'm looking at are AI, gaming, and DeFi. Aave is something that was interesting to me in the 140s. I think it's made a big move, so I'm watching some of these sectors, but I think my position in these three right here are going to satisfy what I'm looking to do in this cycle. So to me, that's simple. Instead of chasing all these little coins over and over and buying this and paying the gas fees and holding this, I'm just going to buy these and hold them. When it comes to Bitcoin, I do also have a decent amount of iBit in the portfolio. Again, those are in Roth IRAs that I plan on not selling unless it really makes a difference to sell. So if Bitcoin's $1 million, maybe I'll look to trim some. But if we get to 100,000, it's not, it's not worth selling the Bitcoin. I'm holding it for the long term. So that is really all I got for this crypto market update. It was a good earnings season for Coinbase. One thing I did not mention is Coinbase is also doing a $1 billion buyback at their discretion. So they do have some nice free cash flow. They've got a lot of cash on the balance sheet. They do have a lot of assets on their balance sheet as well in the form of crypto. And they're looking to put some of that cash and just buy back their stock when they feel like it's lucrative. But it's been a long journey to get here this year. If you've watched my other previous crypto market updates, kind of been waiting for this moment here all year, waiting for getting close to 100K. I've been saying 100K by the end of the year. Feels pretty good right now, but we're not there yet. Still got a lot of work to do, and we'll probably get a nice big red candle here in the near term. So be ready for that. So that's all I got for you guys. Congratulations to everybody that's been holding through this. There's been a lot of volatility. Crypto is not for the weak hands. So congratulations to everybody. All-time highs on Bitcoin. And that's all I got for you guys. All right. Peace out.